Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in tonight's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the various banners that have appeared with the newest update. It is still the same version, so it is an in-game update and not through the App Store. So make sure you just load up your game, reset it, and you should be able to update it now to see the newest banners. And also, don't forget there is a side quest that is available for those who have at least gotten to chapter 89 of the main story. You can clearly see it right here in the Lashfall Tavern. And so just make sure you can start that afterwards for some rewards, some Grasta, and so on and so forth. I'll be doing that myself after this video. Now that being said, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So let's get right into it. We do have the Fateful Encounter Shrouded Wisdom series, and keep in mind that there are two versions, the paid version as well as the free version. This one does have a 3x max, and so again, you do need to use a Heaven subscription ticket or 1,000 paid stones. This will last 1 month from today, as you can clearly see from the UTC, and it gives you a 10% up rate on the 10th pull for the 6th featured units, which is Ify, Flameas, Jat Tactician Perfection, Alter Xion, Aeth Milsha, Eva Normal Style, of course, and Black Clad Swordsman, also known as, spoiler alert, Alter Iska. Of course, if you don't get that on the 10th pull with the 60% total, 6 times 10%, the 40% is now divvied up with the rest of the units there. You can clearly see about 0.27% chance, and so obviously over 100 5-stars in the game, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to target the ones you want, such as Minolka, Alma, Orlea, Daisy, and so on and so forth. You can scroll all the way down to the bottom here, and of course, the bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights are out in full force, at least for pulls 1 to 9. Pulls 10 as a paid banner obviously will not have that. After that, there is this one. So I'll show you the difference between paid and free. Clearly, it's much worse. 0.55 flat chance pulls 1 to 9 regardless. Or if you're doing single pulls, church or single pulls. And if you are doing a full 10 pull, on the 10th pull, you do have a 0.6% chance of getting one of the 6 units. Now, keep in mind that with the free banner, there are no other 5-stars in the game in that particular banner, although there are 4.5s available of all the other units up to 2 banners before. So still, the units such as Minolka and so on and so forth are all here. One other thing to note is that unlike other upgraded banners, the 4.5 versions that can be used to upgrade to the 5-star are not upgraded. They are still the same very, very low chance 0.04 to 0.003, and of course upgraded to only 0.13 on the 10th pull because you can actually miss on these and not get a 5-star, in which case they still upgrade the 4.5s or even 4 stars. And even more chance of getting bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights, such as the Kilkias and Nylias, 1.5% chance each. It's quite a bit, actually. Okay, so should you summon on this banner, or this series of banners? Now, of course, the paid banner is certainly superior to the free banner, but let's be honest, not everyone here is a spender. Some people are free to play, and so I'll discuss it from both formats. The answer always remains the same. How many units of these are you missing? And how valuable do you feel they are? Now, out of the 6 units here, I would say the weak point, if you can even consider it a weak point, would be Milsha AS. Now, not to say she's bad by any stretch of the imagination, however, her unique zone called Moonlight Stance or whatever is honestly superseded by Ify's. Because one thing about Moonlight Stance is that depending on if you had if you took a certain amount of damage, less than I think 2,000, I don't have her actually, I never used her. I believe the damage is reduced to 0, as well as all your lunatic powers are activated while in the Moonlight Stance. So for example, if you are either copy or whatnot, sacrifice, risk taker, all those things, you kind of have it almost like continuous effect. Now the thing with this is, so does Ify. Ify, when you start her in the front line with 3 other units, those 3 units other than her automatically start with Lunatic Risk Taker, and it is a full Lunatic, so if any abilities are active or enhanced with a Lunatic status, with the Risk Taker active, it will take the place of that. And it actually works with even units that Lunatic abilities are activated with, things like Sacrifice, such as BCS, Black-Clad Swordsman. I did demonstrate that, I believe, in my EFI 5-star review video. So, yeah, Miltia AS really isn't that valuable now. Now, the other 5, I would say, to varying degrees and depending how much you want to use them, from powerful to ultra powerful. I would say next up, Black-Clad Swordsman will probably be the next least powerful. And not to say she's bad by any stretch of imagination. She has dual debuff 30-30. I believe she has a type shield, no, physical shield 50. She has the ability to give everyone crit while in Awakened Zone. Her DPS can heal at the same time, and under lunatic conditions such as Risk Taker or Sacrifice, it can do quite a bit of damage as well. So very, very useful unit, Earth Slash. But really, the 4 units you probably are focused on are the ones from left to right on the top: Eva, Efi, Flam AS, and Alter Xion. I don't think I have to tell you any more about those units in general. They are extremely powerful. You've probably seen many videos of myself or others creating videos of these units, and especially Flam AS is relatively still new. The fact that she starts the game or each battle with a half AF, very, very useful, especially in 3.0 nowadays, where the mobs are quite dangerous. If you can one-turn AF everything, every time without worrying about it, why even bother, right? So if you're missing, 2 to 4 of the first 4 units as an Eva, Flam, Efi, or Alter Xion, I mean, look at that. That's a whole magic team right there. And if you've seen my video, you know that's my scam team, actually. Sometimes I wonder whether or not WFS actually watches my videos, because if they watch my Manifest fights, they know I use that scam team, right? Efi, Alter Xion, Eva, and Flam. So this one, I guess, is more value since he gets AS Flam. But yeah, now that I think about it, whoa, who's copying who, WFS? Those 4 units are extremely powerful. You get 1 or more of them, you can really make your magic team more powerful. So if you're missing 2 to 4 of those, definitely pull on this banner. If you're newer to the game and you're missing all of them, super pull on this banner. Is not uprated to 5% or anything like that, but just getting 1 or 2 of those units is game breaking at most points in the game. I mean, Efi, Alter Xion, Eva, and Flam can be used from day 1 counts to the end game, where everyone uses them for various degrees of messing around. All right, if you have most of them, obviously try to save your stones. Don't just aim for 1 unit, because the chance of you getting 1 unit is honestly 0.6% if you're free. Even as a paid banner, if you go 10%, it's about the same as you doing other faithful. But let's be honest, it is real money, and I try to tell people how to not to tell people how to spend money, but at least save their money or focus their hard-earned money on banners that they really need. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of what to target when subbing for that banner. Now the interesting part is, let's take a look here. No, I can't even keep track of some of the banners. This one. Now, the surprising thing is I only see Chapter 1 here. I thought there's going to be Chapter 1, 2, and 3. Let me take a look. So I guess this is only here for a week, and I'm wondering if every week they're going to feature the different chapters. So in this case, as per mentioned in the patch notes yesterday, the 2 units featured in Chapter 1 are here and uprated. Again, note the 4.5s are not uprated, only the 5-star versions. Orlea at 1%, ES Mew at 1%. And again, being that this is a free banner, some of the older units such as Monoka, Efi are still here, but the newest units are not here, such as AS Dewey and so forth. Bots, Rainbow Sisters, and Knights are also here as well, and you can see them as a straight 1.5% as usual. So, I guess, should we summon? Because this is the only other banner available tonight. And my answer is, as much as I say Orlea is great and all, I don't know if you need to summon for this banner. And not to say she sucks or anything like that, but let me tell you my point of this banner. And I felt the same way actually when Chapter 1 was here. Now, I will say I'll have to correct myself with Chapter 1. I think I did regret not fully recommending going for Orlea. The main part about Orlea that's ridiculous is the fact that she starts the battle up front. Everyone in the front and back gets one hold ground, and not the crappy hold ground that, you know, you have to be at full HP. This is a great hold ground that only activates when you drop below 1 HP, and it can be, you know, you don't have to be a full HP. So it is a great hold ground, the ultimate hold ground. And she's one of the few that gives everyone front and back without doing anything. I think Bria does that, but she needs a move, and she kind of, let's be honest, she's kind of below average at best. Not only that, Orlea has the preemptive Thunder Zone setting with the 50% type shield. She's got Alumage, which is broken in Thunder Zone, giving capped boost to power, speed, and int. Very similar to Efi once Efi gets 3 stacks. She has a moderate fire DPS if the enemy is weak to fire, but mainly she enables one-turn Thunder Zone AFs. And in combination with someone like ESMU or other heavy hitters for Thunder, you can really wreak havoc on the enemy if they're weak to Thunder. Now again, she's great and all. She's not at the absolute top of the list in terms of must-haves, but she does have a lot of use. I haven't used her as much recently, but she is still great unit. ESMU on the other hand, barrier pierce and high levels of DPS, especially in Lionheart mode, which is kind of like a 3-turn lunatic. One of the downsides is she can die if she's up front at the end of the 3rd turn. However, you can move her to the back, or if you one array, it doesn't really matter. The only thing I will say about that is Miu's free. And when I say free, I say essentially free. We can get a Miu, you know, through multiple summons. You'll get a 3.5 or eventually a 4. And I assume that if you play the game for any length of time, you really should be getting, you know, enough codexes to side grade her. If you don't feel like side grading her and you really want to spend money or stones on this banner, by all means, you can summon for it. However, with other more powerful banners coming out, I would opt to pass on this banner. Now, if you're new to the game and you're wondering which banner to summon, either Chapter 1 of this one or the Shrouded Wisdom, by far, Shrouded Wisdom should outpower Chapter 1 of Wanderer's Diary, unless you really like ESMU and Orlea, either their storyline or something along those lines. So hopefully that gives you some idea of what I feel about those units. But again, it's not that I hate those units. It's just that competing capital and all, right? You have a certain amount of stones. There are lots of current banners, previous banners, and future banners to save up for. You can't spend money on everything, and most of the time you cannot have every unit in the game if you're free to play anyways. And so you really have to budget and make sure that you have enough stones for the big targets that you want, as opposed to just summoning willy-nilly and just randomly going for banners, just hoping to add someone to your team. You know, as newer units or more units come out, you do have to make a difficult decision about summoning. Like for example, for myself, one good example is that at one point I passed on Dunerith AS. It was a full rate up a couple of years ago. Then this is before dual hat shows, and I do apologize for the dad story, but this gives you kind of an idea of what kind of things I contemplated when passing or thinking about banner. I had like I forgot, like between 5 and 10,000 stones. With the power of foresight, I knew other more powerful banners were coming out. For example, the Nikoko was coming out 6 months later, and I think you know, there were other, I can't remember all the different banners, but I remember people saying, hey Will, Dunerith AS is the only wind DPS that's really powerful for Magic. Why are you not adding him to your Magic team? Because if you do, your Magic team will be very well rounded. He's very powerful, and so on and so forth. And my answer to that was, I can't guarantee I will have enough stones for the Nikoko of the world, even if we save up for 4 or 5 months. And so I was willing to pass on that, which was a very difficult choice. I did not have any form of Dunerith in order to save for the future. And of course, things panned out. I eventually got a Dunerith AS, or a normal style, through you know, through an off banner through another banner. And don't forget that also AS Dunerith revisited us with the release of Daisy much later on than that year. So anyway, just a small story of things you actually do have to contemplate and hold back, even if the unit's awesome or if you don't have it. Anyways, enough of the boring talk. If you're wondering, for myself, I do have all these units mentioned, and so I will not be summoning at all on these banners. Just like you can understand, I am saving up for the newer unit that's coming out in a couple weeks, hopefully from now. One other thing to note before we continue on, if you have finished chapter 1, 2, and 3, I believe there is a way to get free 5-star. I will check that after this video is uploaded. It should come in your inbox. Or it could come in your, rewards. Anyways, for those who are summoning, good luck. I hope you guys get each and every unit. May the 5 stars rain down on you and, bless you along the way of your pulls. Whether or not you are the Church of Single Pulls or the Church of 10 Pulls, I, of course, always recommend people to summon 10 pulls if they can afford it. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.